Hello YouTube, Chrissy here at A Little Glam, A Lot of Mom. Thanks for being here. So a few days ago I refreshed our morning basket, and in today's video I'm sharing what that looks like with you. I went into detail how I incorporate my wide range of kids ages during this morning time of gathering, and that was for term 1. So I'll link that video for you. That was just a few months ago. The seasons have changed for us, and so it doesn't look exactly the same as it did months ago. We have joined new homeschooling co-ops, for example. So because we are year-round homeschoolers, my brain and body and everything just organically wants to split the school year in two. So we have term 1, which is fall and winter, and term 2, which is spring and summer. So we will call today's morning basket term 2. And I'll start with the things that are constant or year-round. So we just started a new read aloud a few days ago, but a read aloud is something that we do all year. Right now we are reading A Wind in the Willows by Kenneth Grahame, and it has these beautiful illustrations. This is published by Sterling Illustrated Classic. To use as a companion here, we have The Wind in the Willows Family Literature Learning Guide by Hearth Magic. I went into more detail in my last video where I shared our plans and goals for the spring season. So if you want a more in-depth look into this literature guide or information about the read aloud, I will link that video either in a card or down below in the description box for you. But the gist of it is that Amber has created over 120 pages of activities and projects, recipes, nature studies. I think that this even includes like an outdoor skills type of section to go along with each chapter of the read aloud. Another resource that stays is our picture study portfolio by Simply Charlotte Mason. This one is on the artist Van Gogh. So we did also attempt to do this in term 1, but I'll be honest that we weren't consistent with it, especially during the holiday season, during winter. We will continue to work through this until we're finished. And we're also going to continue with the word of the day because we actually don't use this daily, and it has over 120 words. It'll last through term 1 and term 2. Each word page has a word story, prompts to discuss the word, and a picture it exercise. I swapped out our indescribable devotions for Bella's Children's Bible. I've done this for myself too, where I've set devotionals aside and instead I'm focused more on diving directly into the Word. We'll be referencing scripture in our Easter guide, and with this devotional I'll share about in a minute as well. And so this is a Christian Standard NIV. The difference is that the language is changed a little bit so that it's more appropriate for a child to be able to read independently, and the font is also bigger. I did share about our Easter guide in the last video, so go check that out. But after Easter, we're jumping right into the fruit of the Spirit. This is a hands-on study on Galatians 5. This isn't a new resource. We actually completed this about 3 years ago, but now that all the youngest are more attentive, I thought it would be a good time to circle back to it. So each spirit shares the same type of spread. There is the main idea, the verse, what the fruit means or is, reading a Bible story through the Jesus Storybook Bible, hands-on activities, create, make, and the fruit in action. So for example, the hands-on activity for love is an overflowing love object lesson. For create is raised salt cross painting. Make is strawberry popsicles. Fruit in action, as a family, you pick a way to show love in your community through your actions. We will likely pick just 1 or 2 of our most favorite type of activities for each fruit. My priority is just to get into the word. There are also some additional like bonus page materials like a banner and coloring pages, which I didn't print this time around because my littles don't need the busy work anymore. So my Noah finished his handwriting book by The Good and the Beautiful, and Bella will put her Draw Right Now book to the side for now, and together with Luna we will be working on class 1 in this form drawing by Angela Lord. Luna will drop after class 1 and Noah and Bella will continue for class 2, and then Noah will drop for class 3 and Bella will continue all the way to the end of the book. So form drawing is a great thing to do with children because it helps them develop hand-eye coordination, spatial orientation, observation skills, there's whole body movements, and sets foundational skills for drawing and handwriting. This is lots of fun to work through together. Now, this isn't a workbook that you just hand off to the child. This is very parent involved. Once we've finished our family literature guide, we're going to loop through this unit study by the good and the beautiful, water and our world. So in this study, we're going to be learning about glaciers, oceans, currents and tides, the water cycle, groundwater, clean water, and more. My goal is to complete 7 lessons out of the 12. I'll choose lessons that I can best modify for the youngest to participate in also. And as we do with most resources, then we put it on our shelves and circle back to it a few more times in the future. So what we love about these good and the beautiful unit studies is that you really do cover a lot. So for each lesson, you're learning new vocabulary. There's a suggested read aloud to go with it. There's hands-on projects and experiments, worksheets. Some of the lessons have small booklets or pamphlets that you put together to read through it. There's some science journaling, and I just love that it's all centered around God. I'm loving this 3-ring portfolio, by the way. It's by a brand called Performance, and I found it at Target for $5. There was only one in stock, or I would have picked up one more. I really do like that it's a soft cover, and I like the accordion file section in the back to store the vocabulary cards, booklets, and just other loose parts that go with the lessons. Throughout the term, I also rotate picture books, 1 or 2 to go along with the season or holiday. It's sea turtle nesting season here beachside, and we're so lucky to be a part of an awesome homeschool group in collab with a local research group. We're currently in the midst of light metering and putting together our data collection into a presentation for our town on light pollution. So this book is on conservation efforts for sea turtles. It fits perfectly into the topic of what's going on around us in real life at the moment. Earth Day is in April, and My Friend Earth by Patricia McLachlan. It's a lyrical type of book, lyrical text, poetic, beautiful illustrations, and with these fun cutout pages to detail the activities of our friend Earth over the course of a year. Just overall a beautiful celebration of our Mother Earth and Earth Day. And for Easter, I hauled this title in my last video, The Tale of 3 Trees, a traditional children's folk tale of the telling of the Easter story in an unusual perspective. My household is a super creative bunch, and so we like to start our days with crafts or handwork, using our hands and putting that creativity to use as well. So we love Dover coloring books, and this one on butterflies is to go with our naturalist study on Maria Marian, and this is for my Luna to color during our read aloud time. Making peg dolls, over 60 creative projects for children and adults. Spring themed peg dolls are some of our favorite to make, and we've had our eyes on some garden inspired peg dolls in here, so we like to take or draw some inspiration from this book. We use the templates, they're super helpful for cutting out our felt, and then we make the peg dolls our own by adding our own details or colors. We just can't seem to color within the lines. This is how we use every type of resource, even curriculum. We just can't follow the directions line by line. We make things work for who we are. And then the same for this resource, transparent window scenes through the year. We love making a window scene for each season, and so we don't like to copy the ideas in here exactly. More we utilize the template and then we build our own scene from there. If you notice, most of our craft books align or flow with the seasons, and that's how they're like categorized or organized. And we love that. That flows organically with us as well, because that's how we flow throughout the year too. Moving on to some of our circle time type of resources, because we love to get our day going with songs, stories, and games. All of the resources are vintage, thrifted finds. Unfortunately, I cannot link them. The first one is Fingerplays for nursery and kindergarten. We've already learned a few from this resource. I enjoy it because it has the play-by-play for each line. And another similar resource is We Sing Play, musical games, and rhymes for children. Riddles are a fun resource for brain warm-ups, and so we read the clues and solve the rib tickling riddles is what it says. So for example, I have a tail, I fly in the sky, I like breezes, hold on to my string. This is called Rainy Day Fun by Parenting, another thrifted find. Easy indoor games and activities your kids will love. This deck is designed for kids 3 and up. There are 48 games, projects, and activities. For example, one is texture collages. So you search the house to find potential materials and attach a collection of interesting textures onto a base of cardboard. This is another fun one that we do all the time. It's called Alphabet Scavenger Hunt. Give the child a basket and have him or her look for items around the house that begin with a letter of the alphabet. So overall, just fun prompts for opening activities and to kickstart the day. We enjoy board games and card games for opening activities. This is a card game called Spot It. I'm sure most of you are familiar with it. It is not a new resource, but Spot It is awesome for honing in on those observation skills, quick thinking, visual discrimination, logic. Overall, another great brain warm-up. So again, I'm sure most of you are familiar with it, but what you're doing is you're trying to be the quickest to match at least one symbol and call it out. The Yoga Garden game by Yoga Kids, a cooperative board game. The goal is to plant a flower garden before night falls. And as players move the bumblebee marker around the board, they practice classic yoga postures as well as have the chance to invent their own. So we've had this game for several years, but to give it another life, I picked up the expansion deck card with 22 new postcards. This is a great game to stretch and warm up our bodies for the day. It's been out of our game rotation for a while, but now we can give it a brand new life with this expansion deck of cards. It doesn't have to be the traditional reciting or memory work, math drills, logic workbooks, hymns, although all that is beautiful for the families that it works for. Don't be afraid to reclaim your morning joy by tailoring the morning basket with opening activities and warm-ups that align with who you are and the organic flow of your family's rise in the morning. If your family enjoys outdoor morning time, then maybe fill your basket with a magnifying glass and field guides and nature journals. If you like to snuggle up on the couch for a few hours in the morning, then maybe lots of picture books and read alouds and some handicraft projects to keep little hands busy, like knitting. If you like to kickstart your day with some creativity, fill your morning basket with art and coloring books or watercoloring lessons, form drawing, or maybe even a cookbook to create something new in the kitchen. The overall message I hope to always convey here in my space is that homeschool is not a one-size-fits-all, so I encourage you to step outside of the basket, pun intended, and reclaim your family's morning joy.